WIXL or the Genesis Broadcasting Company. So sit back, relax, free your mind, and the rest will follow. You're connected to The Art of Winning, the show about ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things.
This lady has done some extraordinary things when it comes to matchmaking. My guest will today tell you how she can help you, meaning you and maybe me too, find Mr. or Miss Right. Just for you, she's a businesswoman extraordinaire, TV personality, radio personality, author, columnist, producer, and many other things. She has so much under her belt. I cannot tell you all of this right here, right now. She is Michelle Valentine. Michelle is here with me in the house this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so excited to be on your show.
And I'm so excited to have you here, too. Wow.
As a single person, at all times, they must look their best. Even if they're going grocery shopping, they need to look their best. And how many times have you gone out and you look your worst? And that's when you meet somebody you haven't seen in 10 years, right?
Yes.
Right? And so sometimes people, when they're, say, just grocery shopping, they look terrible.
You never know who you're going to meet at the grocery store, over the veggies or the fruit.
You never know who you will meet. And they really need to look their best at all times. And there's little secrets and tips to looking younger and looking sexier and looking healthier. And say as a single female, you know, if you're into the habit of wearing slacks or pants all the time, they need to get out of that habit. They need to show a little bit of their legs. You know, they're female. They need to show a little bit of their legs. I'm not talking mini skirts, but they need to dress just a tinge little with more sex appeal, a little bit more excitement.
Someone told me that 2 days ago, and I know they're listening because I was going someplace and I was going to wear slacks. She says, no, honey, do not wear any slacks. I said, why not? She said, you need to show those legs, girl.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And I did.
Wonderful.
Had great compliments, too.
Excellent. Very good.
Wow. Now tell us a little bit more.
Well, let's see. To dress with sex appeal, of course, the hairstyle needs to look very nice as well. People gauge you based upon your whole physical appearance. Hairstyle is very, very important. Make sure that your hairstyle is up to date and contemporary. But the number one concern about your hair is to make sure that it looks healthy. No over-permed hair, over-colored, over-processed hair. Ladies, make sure you're not wearing too much makeup. That's a major concern with men. They do not like women who wear too much makeup. Men can get manicures. Take care of your hands. Guys, pay attention to those little details such as your shoes. Make sure your shoes are polished at all times. Make sure you're wearing a good quality watch. Make sure that your clothes are pressed. This is amazing. You want to hear a cute story?
Yes.
I was having a wonderful social event for singles, and a man walked up to me and said, I am not having a good time at your event, Ms. Valentine. I says, well, my goodness. And here the event was at a very, very upscale restaurant. All the women and everyone are dressed just fabulous and wonderful, and he's standing there wearing tennis shoes and a pair of jeans.
Oh, that's why he wasn't having a wonderful time.
Well, let me continue the story here. Not only was it tennis shoes and jeans, but he was wearing a T-shirt that, well, I won't promote that company's name, but he was wearing a T-shirt that had to do with adult female entertainment.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so here he's at an event. He's at an event with all these professional working women, professional females, wonderful, successful people, and he's wearing something of that nature. And he couldn't understand why the women weren't talking to him.
He was promoting himself down.
Exactly. Singles tell me all the time, well, you know what? If someone doesn't like the way that I look, too bad. This is the way I am, too bad.
Well, that's why you're alone.
Right. You're going for a job interview, right?
Yes.
And you may feel you're completely appropriate for that job position, right? You're not going to show up on the interview in your pajamas and slippers and not comb your hair. Say, well, I'm perfect for the job. They shouldn't care what I look like, right? No. Do you think they're going to get the job? No, they're not. So
what about other physical appearances? Example, weight. Some people will have, I know, but they will have this laundry list of this person must be carved with the muscles and the great hair, great facial, great cheekbones, great all of these things. But when you look at the requestor, they don't match that.
Right. Scale of 1 to 10, if you're maybe a 5, you need to stay in the level of a 5 person as well. Stop going after persons who are 10s or 11 if you're not taking care of yourself. You want to hear a personal story of mine, how I met somebody that way?
Yes.
Okay. This was few years ago, and I was reading this great story in the newspaper, and I personally love to rollerblade. I'm an avid blader. And I was reading the story about rollerblading in the newspaper, the daily newspaper. And in the newspaper, they were interviewing this doctor, and he was so cute. His picture was in the newspaper. He had this, curly blonde hair. He was a physician and the whole thing. And he was talking about how he loves to rollerblade. And in the picture was a whole shot of him except for his left hand, so I couldn't tell if he was single or not in the picture. So I decided to call and find out at the hospital, because you have to do a little sleuthing, And so I called the hospital looking for this doctor, and I said, please don't disturb him if he's in surgery or anything like that, but it's a personal call. Well, so I'm on the phone. They connected me a few times. Finally, they put me through right to his cell phone. And I says, hi, this is Michelle. I was reading this great story that the newspaper did about you, and you love to rollerblade. He goes, yeah. I says, well, I do too. And he goes, who is this? I says, are you single? He goes, I am. And it was so as it turned out, I dated him for quite a few months. Nothing evolved from that, but it was a great person, and it was a great way to meet somebody.
Yes.
So you have to go to the next level sometimes to find someone. I tell people to find someone, you have to place yourself in the right locations at all times. Stop going out with the girlfriends every single weekend to the bars.
Because the girlfriends are looking what you're looking for, too.
Right.
They're looking for a man.
Exactly. And try to place yourself. So if your hobby is golfing, start golfing more often. Meet someone who has the same interests as you. Don't get complacent. If you enjoy cooking, take some cooking classes. If you enjoy going to the museum, go to the museum. Maybe become a volunteer. I tell singles, get involved in charity work. You can meet a lot of people that way, good-hearted people who are trying to do some good. And you've got to try something different.
Yes.
Okay,
all right.
Well, I wrote the book on it. I wrote How to Find Love Online, discussed in my book. But some things you need to look out for is persons who like to consistently email back and forth a very long time. Persons that may be commitment phobic like to sometimes go onto the internet to find someone. Watch out for persons if they could possibly not be emotionally balanced or emotionally ready. They can't call you on the phone after maybe one or two emails. There's a little problem going on there.
Or give you the phone number.
Right. And watch out for that. Watch out for some inconsistencies in their profiles. Try to ask them some questions to kind of throw them off if they're really being truthful. Really ask them, when is the last time you were in a relationship? Do not be afraid to ask them real questions, because online, anybody can be anybody they want.
Once you talk to Michelle, I think the shyness will go away. So why don't you call her now? All right. You must be goal-oriented, are you?
Extremely. I think I was the kid that, I had all the lemonade stands, and, I was doing like little yard sales. But I always believed in quality. So like when I had my lemonade stand, I can remember that I charged $1. I charged $1, and that's because they got to drink out of our glasses. And so they would pay $1, but they would walk away with my mom's glasses, and I would say, wait, you can't take the glass, that's my mom's. And I just felt that if I could offer them something better quality as opposed to a paper cup, would be much better. So I always believed in quality.
And once you have reached the goal, do you just start all over again? What do you do next?
I'm a project person, so I love to take on projects, whether it's one person.
What's your motto, Michelle?
My motto is just be positive and just be around positive people and try to make other people's lives positive and better. I've always believed in trying to help the masses, and I've always been in television. And my first television show, I was a teenager, and I did an arts and crafts television show, and it was just to help people make arts and crafts, the things that I had a gift for, that I just wanted to go on TV and just show them that they could do it too. And it was just helping the masses of people.
And then you produced
lots of television shows and commercials. I've done numerous television shows. Yes, I did. I've also produced television programs. I'm an award-winning producer for an entertainment show that we did, and that was very fun. I owned the Michigan Shopping Network, and all kinds of.
Well, how did you get into the shopping network, girl?
I had owned some other businesses. Which were retail oriented and beauty oriented and retail oriented.
Okay.
So, right, I was always an entrepreneur.
What are some of the most asked questions to you about love, sex, and relationships?
Most asked questions are always about persons who are dealing with persons who are negative and not willing to change. And persons are always saying, how can I change this person? How can I change them? We're having such a very hard relationship. And I go, you cannot change someone. They can do it only for themselves. You need to let go. Let go. I never say that in regards to persons who are married. I really believe that they need to just keep sticking it out. The grass is not always greener on the other side.
Do you have a specific method that you live by for meeting your goals and maintaining your level of success?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
people. It is called visualization.
Okay.
I believe that anything that you want, you must really have a vision of it. And it needs to be a physical vision.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, simple. People do this all the time. People who are on diets, they take that picture of maybe a picture of themselves when they were thinner at some point in their life, and they take that picture and they stick it on the refrigerator. That is so important. That is visualizing what your goal is.
If you're looking for Mr. Millionaire and you have a certain other few things that you want to add into the way he may look, where you want to live, etc. Did you hear what she says? You must visualize it and have a visual, maybe a picture, cut out your picture of where you want to live and what you want to...
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And we need to keep reminding ourselves. Now, that's the past. Photo albums and scrapbooks are past.
Right.
You also need something just like that for your future. It's just as important. So it's very important.
And people thought I was insane. Someone said to me, you are crazy. You're at a certain age where most people would want to say, I'm tired, and you get up every day and you go and you start a whole new thing. I said, this is what I love.
Exactly. And you have to learn to be a risk taker. Granted, you might get hurt a few times, you might get knocked down a few times, but you know what? It just makes you come back stronger and much, much more wiser. And the most successful people in their life have had very bad things happen to them before. And that's what makes you a very strong person, much more a believer in yourself, and you're much more aware of your environment and where you need to be. And you need to take advantage of every opportunity that knocks on your door.
There are a lot of people out there who are hungry for love and understanding and knowledge and wisdom. And
We do the shopping cart situation that I make everybody get up out of their chairs. And some seminars have hundreds of people, and I get them all, and I make them to stand up, and I teach them how to pretend. Did you ever watch Happy Days with Fonzie?
Yes.
Remember how Fonzie would be in the supermarket, and he'd take his shopping cart, and he'd jam it into the girl's shopping cart, and bump into her.
Just for attention.
Right. And I teach people, let's do the shopping cart, just as an analogy. Do the shopping cart, and they walk around the room with imaginary shopping carts, and they bump into each other if there's someone that they're interested in. But the point is that they have to remember that they're always carrying that imaginary shopping cart. And if there's somebody or something they're interested in, they have to bump into them.
All right. So one last word of wisdom before we leave. What would you say to someone who's really listening, who's out there, who need some change in their life for love and understanding? What can you leave them with in a message?
I would tell them to be positive at all times and change your behavior. Change your behavior. It's only a behavior. Behavior is only learned. It can be unlearned. And it's not an overnight process. So don't think it's instant results. But
oh, wow.
And of course, we love problems out there.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of them.